Sean Salisbury here for PicksWise, and from now on every Monday I'm going to put together a video for you and talk about Monday Night Football and that matchup, and then give you some ideas going into it and take a look back maybe from the weekend on a few things that will help you in your future picks, and then just kind of look ahead, a few days in advance over what we may see this week and just some things to look forward to as you place your bets to make your money. And then later in the week you can kind of look at the lines and see where you go. Let me start with taking a look back first of all. When you think about the Green Bay Packers, as you start to bet and think, man, the NFC, it's up and down with Seattle and Tampa and New Orleans and injuries and Green Bay and Minnesota's running the ball, Chicago. Let me first start with Green Bay. When you're making your bets, one thing I want you to understand when you're picking, it doesn't matter what the weather is. And I can't say that about every quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers, it could be 10 below, 10 above, 75 degrees or 80 degrees. Good players, injured players, he's showing up. Every now and again, you'll get a defense like Tampa that finally pressured him and didn't let him get rolling, but he always starts hot and he always finishes. Great football player. So as you go through this thing and start to think, okay, I'm looking ahead to futures bets. Well, when in doubt, always take Rodgers no matter what the weather is. I'm just telling you, in the NFC, that's him. All right, and you look back, and what did he do? Pulled out a win as they struggled through with Jacksonville yesterday, but he will find ways. And he's really, really good, while other quarterbacks may have certain ones that I'm going to talk about. For instance, if Phillip Rivers, we'll get to him. Phillip Rivers starts to play, and you start to look at Indianapolis and say, oh, they're 6.5-point favorites going into a game. They're on the road, and it could be cold. Keep an eye on that. As much as I love Phillip Rivers, one thing you have to understand is that inclement weather, if he can't set his feet and he's not throwing in rhythm, could be a problem pushing the ball down the field, which could be a closer game. And they don't run the ball overly well, and they're not overly committed to it. Something to keep in mind as we head towards the cold. Rodgers, it doesn't matter. He's going to get his, they're going to get theirs. The Miami Dolphins are playing great football. The right decision by Flores to make the move to Tua 3 games ago. They are now 6-3, and they're breathing down the Buffalo Bills' throat. And the reason why Tua is a great get, because he athletically gives you more than Fitz does. So when you're watching Miami, and right now they're on such a roll right now, they'll go play close games. But so you may stay away from, if they got a 12-point spread, which they may never get, or a 10-point spread because they're the Dolphins right now. But you start to look around and you think, well, no way the Dolphins take care of this one, like when they play Buffalo. They'll go play them tough when that situation arises. So keep an eye on the Miami Dolphins' ability to hang around in close games and find a way to win, and their defense to show up to help their rookie quarterback. The Ravens, starting to get concerned about them. So when they're favorites, I'm not so sure that teams, as we've seen, we saw the Patriots do it as well. Teams are starting to figure out now, Lamar's a special player, but teams are starting to figure out how to force them to beat you another way. So in games when you say, Baltimore, no brainer in this one, teams are starting to keep those games close because they're not allowing the big blowout plays and Lamar to be a dual threat guy where he can run and throw and make the big play. So teams are starting, at this point, coordinators are saying, if he's going to beat me, it's going to be one way, not two ways. So when you're picking, because I got into the habit of saying, it's Baltimore, man. They're so dominant. Last year's last year. This year it's a little bit different. So the Baltimore Ravens are no longer that gimme. Matter of fact, the Browns and the Ravens are tied, but the Ravens beat them. But they're a game away from flip-flopping, right? The Browns are also set up for late football. Here's why. Nobody has two better backs in their backfield than Hunt and Chubb. So if the quarterback plays well, look out. But the running game, December, and they got to kill a clock or they got to dominate you like they did the Texans, the Cleveland Browns are a team to watch out for. And then the Saints now with the injury. We don't know when Drew Brees is coming back. They're so much different. Horizontal football with Drew. Now they're going to be vertical football with Jameis Winston. Can he protect the ball? Are they going to be heavy favorites in games? And what's going to happen when they got to go outdoors when Drew gets back, number one, when they got to go outdoors, but also if they have to change their game plan to suit Jameis Winston, who's far more physically gifted right now, but is he going to be as accurate as Drew Brees was? He's got an opportunity to play some good football. Teddy Bridgewater did it last year. They were 5-0, which helped. They are going to have to do that because they want to stay indoors in the playoffs. And right now with Drew Brees out, game plan may change. You keep an eye on that one as well. All right, as we look ahead to some of the games this week, Arizona, Seattle. Seattle is 3.5-point favorites in their building against Arizona. I can tell you this, if you're afraid of that line, the way Arizona's playing, you saw that game this week, take the over. 50-plus points? Think about taking the over in that football game. Why? Seattle's defense can't stop anybody, and Arizona's playing a lot of high-scoring games. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville's playing everybody close. They're hanging in there every single week. But when is Pittsburgh going to have that explosive game where they score 49 or 50 points on somebody? Is that coming? They got a 10-point early lead. A 10-point spread. They're favored early in the week. Will it stay there? Keep an eye on that line for Pittsburgh. If it goes up, people are going to start to think Pittsburgh's waiting on that big blowout game. The Raiders and the Chiefs. Raiders got them in Kansas City. Tough to beat a team twice, let alone if you get them to the playoffs a third time. Raiders are +6 at home. They beat the Chiefs on the road. Can this Raiders game continue the way they're playing? Defense has stepped up. I'm going to tell you, Josh Jacobs runs as hard as any back in the league. Can they control the clock and limit Mahomes' possessions? And is Mahomes ready for a big, huge, another breakout game? He's crept into this MVP race, obviously, he protects the ball. But can you limit his possessions, and can you match them throw for throw? And finally, Tampa Bay and the Rams. Tampa Bay's they got the Rams at +3.5. They're playing the Rams. The Rams are +3.5 in Tampa's building. Let me make sure that line did not move real quick, guys, before we go. Yeah, the Rams are +3.5 on their way to Tampa. Last time Tampa played in their building, meaning at home, they were humiliated by the Saints. Even though the Rams are playing good football, I think Tampa makes sure their home fans don't say, man, when you play at home, what's the problem? Plus, they know that Drew Brees is out, and they got a chance to extend some things in the division so they can play at home as opposed to going on the road.